Garrett Blevins here, and I'm excited to bring this first coaching call in. I want to go over a few of the developments with the program from the beta group. And so, pretty much, I've changed around the look of the program slightly, added in some different colors to make things more obvious, and I want to explain a few things. First, under implementing the workout, when you start week one, which would be right here, you're going to see that I've pre-programmed some percentages in here at various points. These percentages don't really matter at all. They're only here so that I can calculate overall volume, because if this percentage is, say, 0, I get no number here. And so there's no way for me to start figuring out how much volume to put into the programs if I don't put something in here. However, these are estimates of what these numbers should be. When you go into the gym for the first week and you got your high bar 2x10, you are focusing on 2x10 at the RPE 6 listed here. And then when you follow up with the AMRAP set, you go 1 rep below failure. So you're doing an RPE 9. So it's not an AMRAP all out to where you can't finish and you just collapse in the rack. You're definitely stopping 1 rep before failure. And really, I want you to stop 1 rep before a technical failure, even if you could grind out one more in some sort of really ugly way. I never want you to do that. Now, once you get that number, let's say that number was actually you did 135 pounds or 135 kilos or whatever it is for this day. Well, then you come to the sheet and you modify the percent. So I don't know, I didn't do this before, but if we're looking for 135, let's start with 40. 40 was too low. 42, 44, I think 46, too high. 45 is where it's going to be. There you go. And now you've got the load in with your percentage here, and you didn't have to break it. Now, if you wanted to, you could come in here and write, I believe, 135 and 135. And everything, let's say you get 18 here. The formulas are still going to work as you go through, but now you've lost the ability to use your percent. Now, if you change this percent, it doesn't do anything here because you broke that by taking out the formula. So let me undo some of that. Another good thing, just in case you don't know, if you ever make a mistake and delete something, undo is your friend. You can do that. So it was 45. That is how you assess your weights the first week. You don't go by the percentages I list. Those are estimates. They may be high, they may be low, but honestly on some of these, there's just no way I'm going to know what to put for 2 sets of 8 at RPE 6 for a pause above parallel squat, if that happens to be in your workout. This, again, is just a sample that I created for discussion purposes. Now, that said, some of them are blank because I have no idea how to ballpark. I evaluate that with volume still. I don't just take the volume that's in this program and go off of that. I have some kind of formulas I've worked out by estimates to give me a basic volume number. The point is, if you're more fresh, if your squat volume is a little low for the week, then you're going to do better on your AMRAPs, which means your intensity for the next week is going to be higher, which means your volume is going to be higher. The program will auto-regulate you into optimal as you run it for a number of weeks in a row. So that's the deal with the purple cells. The red cells, as you probably already know, enter in your AMRAP numbers there. It will populate the next week's numbers, depending on how many reps above the AMRAP you do. If you did 8 reps above, it's going to bump you up 15 pounds or 7.5 kilos. So that said, there's also these green boxes. Now, depending on whether you download this and use this on a Mac or use it on a PC, sometimes the colors change slightly. Sometimes it'll be a little lighter green or something, but regardless of that, these colors are things that you are going to enter manually. Now, for the first one, where this is a Spoto press 2 inches off the chest, you would again put in whatever you do. Let's say you ended up with 80 pounds on your number here. Okay, so there we go. So you can still use the percentage box here to adjust this number, but on seated rows, JM presses, and dips, your assistance exercises, you are going to write these in. Notice that when you change the percent in this box, it will change both of these. You change the percent here, it'll change both of these, and so on. These percentages control both the work sets and the AMRAPs, whereas this percentage is just going to control this because there is no AMRAP. Now, here's what you want to do week to week from this point on. Let's say for seated rows you did 60, for JM presses you did 50, and for dips you did body weight. On the next week, notice there's no percentages or auto-populated numbers. This is because With green assistance work, you are supposed to just linearly increase as best you can in accordance with the RPE. Now, RPE is always 8 for the assistance work. You're not going to be able to make a ton of progress on seated rows, JM presses, or dips probably week to week. But you might be able to do body weight, plus 5 pounds. Or you might be able to JM press, like maybe it go up to 55. I don't know. If this was still 50, that would be fine. But you want to try to at least progress through the 5 weeks and get it up a little bit higher as you go through. So just increasing as you can week to week. However, the major increases are done with the what's the word I'm looking for? Compound movements. There we go. Compound barbell movements. That's what we care about increasing, and that's what this program works on. The extra assistance work is to address weak points, and adding in volume in general on those weak point areas is going to cause improvements. Now, that said, you'll notice that the movements here are high bar and conventional. Probably this is an off-season program the way I looked at it. For somebody that squats low bar in competition and does sumo deadlift in competition, I noticed that also because these all seem to be variations. Very few people are stronger close grip on bench, though some are. Regardless, when you come down and you see something like pause above parallel squat, you might ask, is that low bar or high bar? Well, if you're in an off season and you're doing high bar as your main work, then do the pause squats above parallel also as high bar. Use the variations of the exercises that you use in competition as you are further away from competition. That means that if you're in an off season, when you're doing your pause squats, or let's see if it's, a block pull, then use the alternate stance. If you're in season and getting close to a competition, then do the block pull or the pause squat with your competition grip or competition stance. Hope that makes sense. Okay, we also had a question about modifying frequency, and this is in the forums. One thing I'll say is I responded to a lot of client emails this week directly to the clients as part of the beta group. I won't always be doing that. It'll be more in this format. However, I did refer a couple of people back to the forums to post because it was good questions that others will benefit from. If you have purchased a five times per week frequency program, but you need to now condense it to 4, there are some recommendations in there. In general, the way that you do that is, I'll give you an example. Let's say we were expanding this 3-day-a-week program to 4. Well, you can select an entire row. See how my pointer, or the little X, the cross here, turns into an arrow? When you do that, it will highlight entire rows. And you can highlight a couple of rows at a time, and then double click or right click, and you can hit insert, and it will move all of the rows down. See how it did that? Now, I didn't want it to copy the formatting, so I think I can go in here and say clear formatting, and it will clear out the formatting. Now, let's say you want to have an increased frequency during the week. So you are going to take out your alternate bench and put it in a new workout day right there. And you don't want this bench there, you want that bench down there. And then you don't want your deadlifting and your squatting to be on the same day for this day, so you do that and you just pull that down to the bottom. Now you can do that. Oh, okay, there we go. You can do that and mess with stuff. Then you can come up here, make this look a little nicer. Delete, shift the cells up. Delete that one more. Oh, not insert. Delete. There we go. And clean it back up so it doesn't look bad. This is something, though, that you will have to do on your own. You can see how fast it is. I've already started to make an adjustment for a 4th day with some bench and deadlift. You want to keep, you want to spread out your upper body and lower body movements fairly evenly throughout the week. So on this program that I've just off the fly made, you'd have 3 days of squatting and 1 day of deadlifting here, 1 day of deadlifting at the beginning of the week. Probably something I would actually do on this is take the deadlifting from here, put it here, take the squatting from there, and put it there. It really doesn't matter. You're getting the same amount of volume. Spread the amount of volume out fairly evenly throughout the week. Keep some of the lighter variations in the middle of the week to give your body a break. but your volume is decreasing throughout the week anyways. There's an infinite number of ways that you could do it, but the basic idea is don't throw all your upper body volume at the beginning of the week and all your lower body volume at the end of the week. Spread it evenly, somewhat, but it's good to give yourself a little bit of a break in the middle of the week or at the end of the week, just somewhere having a little less to allow recovery. So that's how you would modify frequency. There's more recommendations in the forum if you go there, and I'm sure that we're going to build on that and have some different variations available. Now, some good news on this program that you may not have been aware of. I looked into making into an app, but the app gets real confusing with some of the formulas that I've made, and it does not look as good. The good news is Excel has an app for free, and the program works fine on that. It also works free on the version of Excel Online that I believe all you need to do is put in a email address and a PIN number. Now, that version of Excel doesn't have full functionality in terms of Excel, but as far as everything that's going on here, it works fine. Google Sheets also has a free app on iPhone, I believe Android platforms as well. And so get that, take it to the gym, fill in your AMRAPs when you're in the gym. That would be the easiest way to do this instead of writing it down, going back to a computer and filling it out. So that's something I looked into this week, and it does work on Google Sheets, it does work on the Excel app, and it works on Excel Online. I think that's it for our first coaching call. I appreciate everybody that watched through this. This is going to be a weekly thing, or at least every 2 weeks if I don't have a lot of questions. For short questions that are real easy or any problems, I'm still going to be responding to people individually. But in general, I will refer people to the forums so everyone can benefit from the response to the question, or I'll do these types of end-of-the-week videos and cover the issues that we've addressed in the week. If there are any other questions, those of you who are the clients, feel free to email me. But I may refer you to the forum. That's a great place to put your questions in as well. Hope wherever you're at, you're doing well. Blessings.